country in the world to climate change, since it sits just a few feet above sea level. The country has been in turmoil since February, when its president resigned, but that man, Mohammed Nasheed, says he did not resign, he was ousted. I spoke with him when he was in New York recently. You came to worldwide attention at the Copenhagen conference because you really tried to get them to do something about climate change. And some people argue that your speech in Copenhagen was crucial to actually getting some kind of agreement. Why did you feel so strongly on the issue?
Climate change is a real issue that is happening in the Maldives. It's not something in the future. We are just 1.5 meters above the sea level, and even a slight change in sea levels have a huge impact on the Maldives. The predicted rises in sea level is going to be disastrous for us, and we just won't be there. The Maldives has been in the middle of the Indian Ocean for the last 5,000 years. We have a written history that goes back 2,000 years, and we've been, as a country, as a civilization, for a very, very long time. And we just can't disappear. We must be around, and we have to do whatever it takes to see that there are solutions to the issue of climate change.
One of the strategies people urge sometimes is to say, look, you're trying to get a essentially unworkable strategy. You're asking all the countries in the world, China and India, to agree to reducing their carbon emissions, which essentially often means limiting growth. They're not going to do it. There's too much poverty in those countries. They want to grow. So it's a worthy cause, but it's just not going to happen. Well, what do you say?
We are also asking for more renewable energy. We're not just simply asking countries to limit and cut down on development. The 350 million Indians who need electricity, we're not asking, for instance, developing countries not to provide them with electricity, but we are asking them to invest in renewable sources, and that is available. The Maldives, for what it is, has come up with an investment plan, or rather a carbon neutral plan. And we think that this is financially viable and this is technologically feasible. So we are asking people to go for green investments and more green jobs. We feel that this fossil fuel technology is obsolete. It's been around for too long. And if you want to be the leaders of tomorrow, you have to embrace the future.
So tell me about what's going on in your country outside of global warming. You were ousted in what was effectively a coup, correct?
Yes, we had our first multi-party elections in 2008. When I was we were fortunate to have been elected at that time. We beat the dictatorship that has been running in the country for 30 years. President Gayoom was president for 30 years. But we had our first multi-party elections, and then 3.5 years into the democratic rule, President Gayoom, with the help of the military and the police and Islamic radicals, have been able to come back. They staged a coup, they overthrew us, and now they have my vice president as a facade. And they are going back to business as usual. Gayoom is back in the Maldives, all his children are back in the cabinet, all his associates, his cronies and friends have been now in power. Also, when we fought the elections, we first, the Islamic radicals, they contested the elections, and we were able to beat them in the presidential elections. But now after the coup, they have 3 positions in the cabinet. They are calling the shots in the military, and they are busy giving all the sermons to the military.
What are the prospects of something changing and the democracy being restored in the Maldives?
We are working very hard. The people of the Maldives are out on the streets demonstrating every day, and this has been going on for the last 4 months now. We hope that bigger democracies, both in India and the United States, would come around to the idea that democracy must be restored in the Maldives. The people of the Maldives must be governed by elected rulers, not a government formed through brute force and the dictatorship.
That was Mohammed Nasheed from the Maldives. Up next.